So back in 2019, I had the opportunity to interview Danko Jones over the phone. What a super fun interview it was. Now, I forgot to hit play for my first question, so we're going to start right into my second question. So on Lipstick and Leather, here's my interview with Danko Jones. Now, will there be a second video off Rock Supreme?
There's actually been 5 already. There's one. The first one was We're Crazy. We have a couple. We had Dance, Dance, Dance. We have a couple of lyric videos for I'm in a Band and Lipstick City. And then there was a fan shot video where we invited people to, shoot the footage and send it to us for a song called Burn in Hell. So far there's been 5 music videos.
Awesome. Will there be a 6th?
I think we're all set to do one this summer for a song called Fists Up High. Very
cool. Now, being a major fan of Harem Scarum, how did yourself, Danko Jones, get Harry Hess to master the Wildcat CD?
We've known Harry for quite a few years, and we've done albums out of his studio, including Fire Music, but we've also done earlier work. I think our song that I think Canada knows the most, Bounce, was done in here. Parts of it were done in Harry's place. So, yeah, Harry we've known for years. So,
awesome.
Eric Ratz, the producer who produced Fire Music and Wildcat, he works out of Harry's studio. So,
right on. Now, you have worked on quite a few collaborations, such as Volbeat, Marty Friedman, Annihilator, Broken Teeth, and many others. Any other future collaborations coming up?
Yeah, there's always a few on the burner, but I can't mention it right now because it hasn't been announced by the band themselves, so we just can't do it yet, but it's pretty cool. A couple of them are really cool. One I can mention is I'm in a side band, me and JC, we're in a side band project, or just another band called Iron Magazine, with 2 of the guys from Circle from Finland, and so we put out a 4-song EP in 2017, and so we're working on the follow-up, and I think that'll be a full length. So that should be done sometime next year.
Awesome. Now, I know you're a huge...
Oh, and another collaboration I must mention, because it was just mastered last week, and it was kind of a secret that I've had in my laptop for 4 years, but now that it's out, we did George Stroumboulopoulos' show a few months ago, and he found out. So there's a collaboration I've done with Tanya Tagaq and Tad Doyle and Jorgen Munkby for a noise album that I've been working on for a few years. And so that was mastered just last week. So that'll be coming out, I think, next year.
Looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yourself being a major fan of Death Angel, did you ever get into the band Vane? Because, of course, the connection is Davey Vane produced an album by Death Angel, Ultraviolence.
But no, I never got into Vane.
Okay. Now, have you seen Major the Lion lately, well, since shooting the Below the Belt album cover?
No, Major was brought in, into the studio, and then, we never really saw him again. There's different tiers of lions when you kind of rent them out, and we could afford Major, which means he still has to be watched, and basically you can't hug Major.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a lion who's more tamed, and it would cost more money, and it wasn't in our budget. But that is how these tiers go. So what we could afford was a lion that was tamed, but you're still unpredictable.
That's fair. Now, with Marty Friedman being on the set of the I Think Bad Thoughts video, was he considered to make possibly a cameo in the video?
No, because it was a kind of a scripted video, and we only had a day to shoot, and we just had to hit all our marks, and so anything that would get in the way of that or be added to the schedule, I think would have thrown off the shoot completely, and that would have cost us money. It's very expensive.
Very cool 3-video trilogy for sure.
Right, right.
Now, discussing Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah in the Huntington Post, what did you think of Axel Rudy Pell's cover of it?
Well, I think the whole gist of that article was to have people stop covering it. So I can't. Maybe I did listen to it when I was writing the article, but my overall feeling about people covering it is that it's been covered to death.
Right.
And most people don't understand the meaning behind the song. Is even though it's a beautiful melody, and I think that's what people focus on, they don't realize the lyrics. And it's a coming of age kind of song, and is that version you mentioned, is that instrumental?
Nope, it's got vocals with Johnny singing.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I think it's the most absurd little side note in music. One of them, at least. There's a lot of them, but that's definitely something really absurd.
Now, I first discovered Danko Jones around the same time I discovered Robin Black. And of course, Robin Black and yourself have the Garth Richardson connection producing. Have you done any shows with Robin or anything along that time?
What did Garth produce?
He produced the debut album from Robin Black.
I don't think he did.
Pretty sure there were 2 producers and he was one of them.
I do not believe he produced it.
Okay.
Are you sure about that?
Well, I could be wrong with it. It's possible.
It's not Bob Ezrin?
Bob Ezrin produced the second Robin Black album.
Right. Well, maybe he did. That's odd. But what's your question?
I was just wondering if you did any shows with Robin Black or had any interaction with Robin Black and the Intergalactic Rock Stars.
Yeah, we did back in the day, and not Robin directly, but a couple of the guys in his band were very unkind to us. Let's put it that way.
That's not good.
Oh, it's what happens in the hard rock world of alpha male posturing. And you kind of got to eye roll and face palm your way through it and give these people's egos space. And I'm not speaking about Robin. He wasn't directly involved in whatever scuffle happened. It was someone else in his band, but we've had better interactions, let's put it that way.
That's fair. Now, you've joined Guns N' Roses on stage twice, once for Night Train and once for Patience. Did you ever get a chance to join Sebastian Bach on stage?
Well, it was Night Train. Sebastian was on stage with me, so I guess that's the same thing. Yeah.
Now, in 2007, you wrote a bunch of letters to Richie Blackmore, but you didn't send any except one. Which is the one that you wound up sending?
Well, you know what? I can't remember, but it was one of the earlier ones, just because it was a joke. And then when I started to really write a lot of them, I was like, well, this is going to paint me as some sort of creepy stalker dude, even though it's just a joke to entertain the guys in the van or, in the dressing room or something. I can't remember what it was, but it was one of the earlier ones, so there's 3 that come to mind, but yeah, whatever. It was just a joke. Just, I wrote one, it got a few laughs, and then, I'm just kind of a ham, so I go where the laughs go. So I just kept going.
I think the Watches one is my favorite.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites, too. That wasn't it, though.
Okay. Now, in 2004, you wrote a letter to Neil Peart and received a response in 2007. Other than writing, obviously, a letter to Richie Blackmore, have you wrote to any other celebrities?
Let's see. Well, I mean, not since, being in this band and doing stuff. I mean, not really. I mean, that was a real letter. That was an actual letter in pen on a piece of paper. And I don't think I've done that since.
That's fair. Now, is there anywhere that you can possibly hear your Kiss-umentary that you did?
You mean the lecture at Vakken Open Air?
No, when you asked a bunch of people their opinion on Kiss, I think it was something like 70 people or something. You asked their opinion on Kiss for a radio show. I think it was way back.
Oh my God, where did you find that out? Where did you hear that?
I think it was in your book.
Was it? Oh, okay. Oh, jeez. No, that'll never be aired. It's on like tape, reel-to-reel tape, and no, I don't even know where that is. I have it on cassette, but the cassette is warped. Thus, my hatred for cassettes. But yeah, like there's, I can't remember how many hours it was, but there was. I think it started warping around hour 3. So it just really, yeah. So it kind of sucks, and I don't know where the reel-to-reel is.
Us both being huge Kiss fans, what was your favorite Kiss 80s album? I'm curious.
Oh, well, it's Lick It Up and Creatures of the Night. Those are the best ones anyways. They're my top 5.
That's fair. All right, did your earlier bands, the Dapper Trio or Horseshack or Violent Brothers, record any demos? I know you guys played shows, of course, under the name.
The Dapper Dan Trio put out one song on a compilation called Stereophonicus Disruptus. I don't know if there's any bands of note on that CD. I think we're at track number 2. I don't have it in front of me, and I haven't looked at it in years, but I believe we were track 2 because they were going to put us as track 1, but someone in the track 1 band died, so it was almost like a tribute to them to put them number 1. I don't think there was anyone of note on that compilation. That was the Dapper Dan Trio.
Yes.
Horseshack has demos. I personally think they sound dated, and when we broke up, some of the later stuff we were writing was really, really good. It really pissed me off when we broke up because we started off as some sort of Jesus Lizard clone band, which at the time, in the early 90s, if you had your ear to the ground, that was the band that everybody wanted to be. We had everybody in mainstream world, loving Nirvana, and the rest of us, we loved noise rock. So Jesus Lizard were the kings of that at the time. So we were just wanting to be that, but we were transitioning into this kind of alt country meets birthday party meets Jesus Lizard, weird noise band, and it was really melodic and it was really good, but we broke up. So I don't think any of the demos will see the light of day.
That's fair.
But the Violent Brothers, I've toyed with that idea of releasing Violent Brothers stuff because it's a 2-piece band, more in line with what the band I'm in now is, and I think there's an audience for it. But again, we wrote maybe a dozen songs, but recorded only 3. The rest of the songs live on as like live shows that I recorded, But again, even those, some of them were warped, which really, there's one amazing live show I taped, and it's warped now. I fucking hate cassettes, man. Like, that's why I just fucking hate them. And, this whole cassette revival has been done by people who've never really lived with cassettes, who never engaged with them as much as I have. I mean, if you have, then you would, and anyone who really has extensively knows that, cassettes are a terrible medium. And for this very reason. I mean, there's shows lost because it was the only way I could record a show back then.
Yeah, that's true. I remember having my Walkmans and my cassettes getting eaten and zapping countless times.
Yeah, and these cassette labels, it just baffles me.
Now, do you still have the sharkskin pants that the smugglers wound up taking turns wearing?
Yeah, I do. I have it somewhere. Actually, no, I have it in my closet. Yeah, I do have it here. It's not in storage. I do have it. But it's got a hole in the pocket, so it annoys the shit out of me when I wear it because I can't I can't put anything in, nothing, everything falls out. So it just needs to be stitched up a bit. But yeah, I still have it.
Awesome. Now, Never Too Loud was a different album for Danko Jones, which personally I liked. Would you ever consider either remix it or maybe releasing the demos, which supposedly sounded quite different than what got released on the album?
Yeah, I personally like the demos better. I mean, obviously they weren't produced, they're just really just demos. But you could hear the energy and you could hear the potential there. The mixing of Never Too Loud, I think, was wrong. And it had a lot to do with, there's a number of factors, and of course the number one factor is always money. We just didn't have any. And we weren't there when it was being mixed, which is something that we usually are, and if not nowadays, that was 07, now in 2019, even if we're not there, we're easily sent the files, and we can listen to them properly, and we have good headphones or good speakers. So, yeah, there's a lot of factors from 2007 that didn't make that album the best it could have been. But I don't know if we're going to remix it. Again, in order to do that, you need money. A band like Kiss can remix Destroyer because that's nothing for them to do that. But for us, it would be a huge undertaking for an album that a lot of people overlooked or dismissed or canned, quite frankly. And I can't say that they're wrong now that the dust is settled, and I really don't want to revisit it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll cross my fingers for down the road, maybe a double CD reissue with the demos.
That's if people are still buying CDs down the road,
That's a good point. Well, thank you very much for your time, Danko. It was very fun. I really enjoyed doing the interview, and always loved seeing you live.
Well, thanks for the deep questions. I'm not used to that. For Canada, you are an exception, so I appreciate it. I was a little surprised by some of your questions. So genuinely, and it was good. It was great.
That's very kind of you, Danko.